Here is the Technics SL-1300G, a fully manual, direct drive turntable that combines key features of Technics' most popular models and introduces a more streamlined design. This is the update to an icon that we've been asking for. The 1300G is part of Technics' Grand Class lineup and fits in between their 1200G R2 and 1200G models. It shares its Delta Sigma drive system and aluminum tonearm with the more affordable 1200G R2 and incorporates the upgraded motor and platter of the more expensive 1200G. From there, Technics has added a new silent power supply and, perhaps most notably, removed the variable pitch slider and lights, otherwise known as the DJ controls. Let's start with the heart of the SL-1300G, the direct drive motor. Unlike more conventional belt drive turntables, the motor sits directly beneath the platter and results in far better speed stability compared to a separated motor and belt. Additional benefits include higher torque and electronic control, meaning you can easily change speeds between 33, 45, and 78 RPM with a button press rather than moving a belt, and the platter gets up to speed almost instantly. Technics has been refining their direct drive system for over 50 years, and as a result, has a reputation for making some of the best sounding and most reliable turntables on the market. This coreless direct drive motor and Delta Sigma drive system work together to maintain exceptional accuracy, minimize vibrations, and supply enough torque for the heavy, 3-layer balanced platter. That platter, shared with the 1200G, is a significant upgrade over the 1200G R2s. A top layer of brass has been added to the die-cast aluminum platter, and the underside is fully lined with a vibration-deadening rubber. Each platter is then adjusted to achieve perfect balance at the factory. This further improves stability, reduces noise and vibration, and allows you to hear more detail from your records. The plinth construction continues with the same themes, increasing stability and reducing vibration. It uses 2 layers, die-cast aluminum and BMC, bulk molding compound, or plastic, that's been reinforced with additional ribbing between the motor and the tonearm to increase rigidity. The plinth is supported by 4 feet that use high-damping silicone insulators. These feet are extremely effective at preventing vibration from footsteps or other environmental factors from getting into the turntable. On top of the plinth, you'll find 4 buttons: power, start-stop, 33 RPM, and 45 RPM. Pressing both 33 and 45 RPM buttons at the same time will change the speed to 78 RPM. What you won't find on the SL-1300G are the legendary 1200 lines DJ controls. There's no pitch slider, stylus light, or strobe light. Audiophiles and home listeners have been asking for a premium Technics turntable without these DJ-focused features for a while, and Technics have finally answered that call with the 1300G. It's definitely a cleaner look that I suspect will fit into most home environments better. That said, I've always found the pop-up stylus target light of the 1200 series extremely useful when playing records at night, so I'm a little sad to see it go, but I'd say it's still an aesthetic improvement overall. The 1300G's aluminum S-shaped static balanced tonearm is identical to the 1200G R2s. Technics includes an industry-standard half-inch removable headshell, which mounts to the front of the tonearm, and the supplied counterweight and optional auxiliary weight get installed on the back of the tonearm to dial in the tracking force. A gimbal suspension and high-precision bearing connect the arm to the base, where you'll also be able to adjust the tonearm's height, or vertical tracking angle, and fine-tune anti-skate. The rule of thumb for vertical tracking angle is that you generally want to get your tonearm parallel to the record surface when playing. And as a starting point for anti-skate, Technics recommends setting your dial to the same number as your tracking force. It's crucial to mention that the SL-1300G does not include a phono cartridge. This is actually pretty common with higher-end turntables, but it means you'll need to purchase a quality cartridge for the SL-1300G if you don't already have one. There's some science and a lot of personal preference involved with matching a cartridge with a turntable, but here are a few of my own recommendations at different price points. The Audio-Technica VM540ML is an awesome value at under $300. I used one on my own 1200GR for years with excellent results. Detail and separation are great, and it's a moving magnet cartridge, so it'll pair easily with most phono preamps or phono inputs on your amplifier. Stepping up from there, I'd recommend the Audio-Technica AT33Sa. This is a moving coil cartridge with even greater detail and a bit more bass richness, but requires a higher quality moving coil phono preamp or step-up transformer due to the lower output compared to a moving magnet cartridge. Finally, at roughly $1,200, the Goldring Elite is a premium option and pairs really well with the 1300G. But just like the AT33Sa, you'll need a quality moving coil preamp or step-up transformer to handle the lower output. Admittedly, choosing the right cartridge can be tedious, but thankfully getting it mounted to the Technics headshell is relatively simple with the included overhang gauge. You just need to mount your headshell in the gauge, connect the 4 wire leads, attach your cartridge with the hardware finger tight, and line the stylus up with the tip of the overhang gauge. Tighten your hardware and mount the completed cartridge assembly to the tonearm. With a little practice, the entire process only takes a couple minutes, which feels like nothing compared to using a 2-point alignment protractor, a process required with most other turntable brands. The Technics headshell also features a small slotted screw for adjusting azimuth. This is the perpendicular alignment of the cantilever and stylus when viewed directly from the front of the cartridge. Most users won't need to make any azimuth adjustments, but it's nice to know that you have the ability right there on the headshell. Around the back of the 1300G are the cable connections. They're tucked away under the turntable, which keeps everything tidy, but it's also a bit of a pain to connect and disconnect. There's an IEC power input, RCA phono inputs, and a ground lug. There's no built-in phono preamp, so you'll need to run those RCAs and ground cable to either an outboard phono preamp or to a dedicated phono input on your amplifier or receiver. Here in our studio, we paired the Technics SL-1300G and Goldring Elite cartridge with a Yamaha AS2200 integrated amp and a pair of Bowers & Wilkins 703 S3 speakers. Listening to half a dozen LPs, we were consistently impressed with this turntable's performance. Beth Gibbons' latest album, Lives Outgrown, showed off this table's basically perfect speed and pitch stability. Sustained notes are where wow and flutter issues become magnified, and this record sounded immaculate. With albums like the Pixies' Surferosa, detail and separation are also outstanding. The 1300G delivers the grit and explosive dynamics that make this album so great, while allowing you to easily distinguish all the layers and subtleties. On top of that, the SL-1300G was simple to set up and easy to use, especially when switching between records cut at 33 and 45 RPM. The Technics SL-1300G is going to fit the bill perfectly for many audiophiles. You're getting a lot of the performance of the bigger brother 1200G in a value-packed and visually streamlined package. We're big fans of this latest addition to the Technics lineup. If you have any questions about the SL-1300G or any other turntables, get in touch with us here at Crutchfield.